microphone is on. There it is. Welcome to the Hawks Nest. We are now moments away from OCAA basketball West Division action. Great to have you with us on the Hawks Sports Network, live from the Humber College North Campus gym. There it is, the beautiful hardwood and the beautiful game moments away. My name is Matt Hamill, alongside my broadcast partner, Zach Benoit. Zach, we have a Humber Hawks team who are off a loss. That seems a little low, but we will have a Zach, Humber just lost. Canadore haven't won yet.
Yeah, it was a heartbreaker for the Humber Hawks last time out. It was against the Niagara Knights, losing that one by 3, 67-64. You see it on your screen right here, the matchup for today. Like you said, Canadore still have yet to win, and that winless streak actually goes all the way back to 2019 since they moved into the West Division. They're looking for that first win. Could it be the upset here with Humber? Who knows? But the Hawks, they're going to be wanting to come in with that fire. We know they have the firepower to do so. You see the standings right there. Humber 8-6, and those 6 losses actually tie their highest total in a season since 1983.
That is quite the stat and quite the turnaround. The juxtaposition of last year winning the national championship. This year, it's been a bit of a bumpy road at times, but Zach, Humber has been getting some good output from a few players, namely this young man worth highlighting, J.R. Harewood.
Harewood, his first year as a Humber Hawk, and he's doing everything that he can. Leads the team in rebounds with 86, averaging just under 10 points per game. But, he's had a fantastic first season here as a Humber Hawk, and I'm sure he's looking to continue it in today's game.
And now for the starting lineups, first for the visiting Canadore Panthers. 10 guard at a Saint Foy, number 0, Ongagne Bechi. A 6'6" forward at a North Bay, Ontario, number 1, Owen Walker. A 6'3" guard out of Edmonton, Alberta, number 3, Tevin McCallum. A 5'9" guard out of Orillia, Ontario, number 5, Ty Huxtable. And a 6'1" guard out of Englehart, Ontario, and number 12, Chase Stingcowie. The head coach for the Canadore Panthers is Stephen Hong. And now, the starting lineup for your Humber Hawks, as put together by head coach Omar Miles. A 6-foot guard out of Windsor, Ontario, number 3, Kyle Brown Fazekas. A 6'3" forward out of Mississauga, Ontario, number 6, Raheem Dennis. A 6'4" small forward out of Toronto, Ontario, number 7, J.R. Harewood. A 6'8" power forward out of Brampton, Ontario, number 13, Jamani Barrett. And a 5'11" guard out of Rexdale, Ontario, number 23, Dwayne Lambert Canadore.
Well, that was our player introductions, courtesy of Dwayne Bowles, and we are live now, moments away from tip-off OCAA men's basketball in front of us here at the Humber College North Campus Gym, the Hawks Nest, they call it. My name is Matt Hamill here with you alongside my broadcast partner, Zach Benoit. Zach, we have a Humber Hawks team coming off a loss. You got to think they're motivated here today on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, for sure. It was a little bit of a heartbreaker loss this past week as they dropped one to the Niagara Knights 67-64, and that put the Hawks at 6 losses on the season, which ties their highest total since 1983. So this Hawks team poised more than anything, and a great chance against the Panthers to turn it around.
Yeah, certainly an interesting dynamic coming off of the national championship as we open up the game with a 3-ball from J.R. Harewood, and he's certainly one of those guys to watch for Humber here today.
Exactly. J.R. Harewood, in his first year as a Hawk, is leading the team in rebounds with 86, and he's averaging just under 10 points per game at 9.5. So look for him to continue to grow here as a Hawk and just be a key contributor for years to come.
And the Canadore Panthers making the long drive as that takes a fortuitous bounce, but whistle blown on that play. So still no points on the board for Canadore. Drove in from North Bay today, Zach. A little bit of snow too, so maybe a bit of treacherous travel conditions, but really the story of the season so far for the Panthers, still without a win, Zach.
It's been a little bit hard, and really that total going all the way back to 2019 when they first switched over to the West Division. They haven't picked up a win yet, 0-43, and you know these guys, it's on the back of their minds. You know, they want to break that streak, so look for them to play a little bit more poised today.
Here they are in the offensive end. McCallum hands it off to his teammate. An air ball, but rebounded by Canadore, but the shot clock expires. Hawks in transition. Dwayne Lambert Canadore hands it off to Raheem Dennis. A wide open J.R. Harewood to a wide open Kyle Brown Fazekas. So So Humber opened up the game with that three-pointer from Harewood, and a steal from Dennis now. There's a chance for Dennis to lay it in. There's his first points of the game, and Humber up 5-0.
Yeah, what I'm liking so far by Humber is they're moving the ball around a lot better than they did against Niagara. They seem to have a little bit more of a fast pace to them, and that was something that was missing in that Niagara game that they dropped.
Yeah, certainly. You kind of feel the swag off the Humber Hawks here this afternoon. Some good steals already in this game. Good passing, like you mentioned. Dwayne Lambert-Canadore over to Harewood, and Dennis looking for Barrett. Back to Dennis on the outside. He spins in the paint and puts it up for another bucket. Raheem Dennis back-to-back points, putting Humber up 7-0.
And you can't sleep on Raheem Dennis. This man, he's a national champion, was with the Hawks last year. Really, it's taken him a little bit to get going, but so far today, he's looking really good.
So the Hawks sit in 8th place in the provincial rankings as Kyle Brown-Fazekas is fouled heading to the hoop. Humber with the record on the season of 8-5. The opponent, the Canadore Panthers, winless on the season, like we mentioned. So timeout called, and before Kyle Brown-Fazekas gets to shoot two, we'll head into quick huddles here.
If you want to take a look at that West Division standing in the OCAA, Humber, sitting in 5th, tied alongside Conestoga, who has a 9-5 record, and they're only 2 points behind Sheridan. So with a win today, Humber could jump a spot and be tied for 3rd. Obviously, it's a little bit hard to catch up to the Mohawk Mountaineers, who are sitting at 11-2 on the year. But, if you can kind of get up there in the standings, it'll look a lot better for the Humber Hawks.
Yeah, good point, Zach. Like for the Hawks, we're talking about the season that has been very up and down. A lot of kind of win one, lose one type of play. However, towards the end of the previous year, 2022, stringing together a nice run of wins, but it's been once again kind of the back and forth style of winning and losing games here in the new year. And Zach, we're kind of closing in on the end of the season here. Humber, with just a few games left in the month of February, have today's game against the Panthers and then just 3 more regular season games after this. So not a lot of time to tune up and hit that stride as the provincial, the OCAA championships hosted by St. Clair College in Windsor coming up in less than a month.
Yeah, and those last 3 games, they're not going to be easy ones either. You're taking on St. Clair, you're taking on Sheridan, and you're also taking on the Lambton Lions, who are only sitting 2 points behind you, and the other 2 teams are above you in the standings. So that final stretch for the Hawks, it's really make or break for them. And
Fazekas with the missed free throw. 8-0 is our score. Panthers still looking for their first points today. Now Humber is a team that's right up there in terms of scoring. Humber also a very, very good rebounding team. Statistically, just about leading the province in many rebounding categories, as there's a defensive rebound for J.R. Harewood. Harewood now making his way inside, gets swarmed by a couple Canadore defenders, but great effort there from JR to keep the ball in possession of the Hawks.
Just great athleticism right there to number 7.
A little bit of trickery there, the fake pass from Kyle Brown-Fazekas. But the mishandle in the defensive end by the Panthers will give Humber the ball. Substitution coming in for Canadore. Ethan Skaman into the game, and taking a temporary rest is Chase Dinkowie.
And someone we haven't seen on the court yet is actually the leading scorer on the Panthers, Moses Orange. So we wait for him to enter into the game for the Panthers, because we know the impact he can make as DLC dropping one.
Humber's leading scorer with a good-looking bucket. And a couple players soon to be checking in for Humber. Looks like Romeo Osas Joshua and Brett Pierce waiting to tag in. Good pass down low, and there's almost the first bucket of the game for Canadore, but just trickles out. A carnival rim type of look there as Humber's back on offense.
Just seems like they just can't catch a break right now on the offensive side. The ball's getting up, it's just the rim isn't allowing it to go in.
Harewood there being guarded by Ty Huxtable, and Humber going to come up empty-handed that trip down the floor. Corner look here, just checked into the game. Skaman, and Kyle Brown-Fazekas tries to wrestle the ball away. but he's going to pick up a foul.
Got 3 players checking in now.
So we mentioned Pierce, Romeo Osas Joshua, as well as Taj Motiki Stevens. So a couple of the Humber starters checking out here. In the corner now, Pierce just checked into the game. He's already being tested defensively. And Skaman finds an open teammate who steps inside for the 2, and that jump shot is good. That's Ogene Becci. Humber looking to answer right back with a 3-ball.
Brett Pierce trying to dial one up from the corner.
3-ball from downtown, off the mark. And Romeo over to DLC. So Humber keeping the experienced Dwayne Lambert-Cador, who pulls up, staying in the game here. Offensive rebound, but right between the wickets, that ball flies. Panthers ball.
So early on, Humber already building up that lead, 8-point lead for the Hawks on the Panthers right now. And it just seems, the defense, it seems like they're a little bit more active. Back and forth. There's a bucket right there again for the Panthers, but the defense is looking very, very strong.
Romeo Osas Joshua hands it over to Dennis, who steps his way in, passes it to Motiki Stevens, who's fouled. And 2 shots coming up for number 20. 10-4.
Almost the big dunk. Motiki Stevens wanted to go up there and just slam it down, but just getting the foul. So he'll go to the line shooting 2.
Misses number 1. We talked about Humber just on Wednesday, the first day of February, or most recently in action, dropping a game to the Niagara Knights, and that was, we saw it, Zach, a great ball game. I mean, not a great result for the Humber Hawks, but for those in attendance at the Hawks Nest, that was a doozy.
Electrifying, to say the least.
So some good play, especially at times for Humber, but today a good opportunity to get back on track. And we've been talking about not the easiest schedule coming up with Lambton, St. Clair road games, and then at home to finish the season. So this right in front of us, the second last home game of the season for the Humber Hawks, but finishing out in style, the big rivalry matchup against the Sheridan Bruins. Stolen away by Pierce. In the 3-point land, that shot just off the mark from Nathan Waith.
Newly entered Nathan Waith, and it was a nice steal right there by Brett Pierce to set up that play. Fortunately, it just couldn't amount to anything.
A bit of room to work with inside for Elijah Suffel. And the pull-up J rebounded by Suffel, and a foul called. As get a look there at Canadore's coach at the top of your screen, Stephen Hong, in his 3rd year coaching the Panthers. Humber head coached by Omar Miles. Becci inbounds it to Huxtable, who takes it near center court. And Huxtable makes his way in and puts up a shot that is off the mark. Rebounded by the Panthers, but shot clock violation.
Again, good defense out of the Humber Hawks. Just active on the inside and just doing a good job.
So here's Cameron David, who passes off to Waith. Good ball movement from the Hawks right now. It's back in the hands of Cameron David. Spin move, and just too strong. That's a good-looking move, Zach, but the finish wasn't quite there.
Just showing off that athleticism right there was Cameron David.
Sometimes when I'm walking in the hallways, I like to just do a spin move just to let people know I still got it. Here's David. Let's see if he's going back to the spin move. Not this time, but he loses the handle. And Huxtable leading the charge right now. In the corner, Humber's defense has been pretty strong thus far, really not allowing much. Huxtable finds his teammate. McCallum makes his way in. Shot clock winding down. A little bit of a block there. And another shot clock violation.
I believe that's a third or fourth one already by the Panthers. As this Humber's defense holding strong and it's not allowing Canadore to set up any plays.
Taj Motiki Stevens with the bucket. And now those are his first points of the night.
See here, if Canadore can just get anything going. Humber's defense has just looked impenetrable almost. That's right there. That's a big bucket for Canadore to try to cut into this lead, but Humber right back on the attack.
As Humber is going to be called with the offensive foul. Romeo Osas Joshua coming on a bit too strong in the eyes of the official.
Well, the foul is on number 4, Romeo Osas Joshua. Personal foul number 1.
That's his first. Romeo's got 1 foul today. Zach, let's do the sneaker check. Brett Pierce, you can see on the left side of our screen, number 8 for Humber. Some pretty electric looking Nikes there.
And you got to look on the side of Canadore. I believe that's Elijah Suffel. Those bright blues.
Ooh. You know, this player of the game, we should maybe introduce our own segment. We got the
Sneaker
respective,
of the game.
yeah. And at the World Junior Tournament, we present them with a watch or something. Sponsored by TISO. We'll make a few phone calls to try to get this thing off the ground.
We'll get it arranged by the last home game of the year for sure.
Here's Pierce with the good-looking sneakers. And Humber's ball movement has been something we've seen a lot of so far. David jacks up the shot, tries to get his own rebound. But it's Becci leading it back to Humber's zone. And we have the whistle blown. Offensive foul.
Seems like the tables have just turned a little bit here. You know, Humber came out really strong, really aggressive, and that kind of caught Canadore off guard a little bit. But it seems like Canadore has woken up a little bit. They're playing a lot stronger. As right there on front of us is number 23, Moses Orange, the leading scorer for the Panthers, checks in. He's in 16th in the league in scoring.
He's started until now every game for the Panthers, averaging 16.6 points a game. Brett Pierce, corner 3, no good. And you made a good point, Zach. Humber's offense is kind of stalled out here as the Panthers catching up. And Orange, first shot back in the game, is just a bit short. See if the Hawks can reestablish. At one point, they were up by 10. Now a slim 4-point lead. Pierce kicks it out to DLC, who's fresh back in the game. DLC into the paint. 3-ball is good, and that may be going to reignite the Humber offense. Romeo Osas Joshua with the 3-ball.
I believe he's their Romeo Osas Joshua, their leading 3-point percentage shooter. You can do the quick math for me right there, partner.
Let me do the calculations, or maybe I'm just referencing the OCAA stat. I'll let you decide. Actually, J.R. Harewood by percentage, just shy of 40%. So Romeo Osas Joshua, in terms of percentage, second only to Harewood. 2 guys who have both made 3-pointers today for Humber.
Just shows the talent right there by the Hawks, and we'll see if Moses Orange can do anything here. Good drive to the net there to get him his first basket.
Yeah, Moses Orange, we mentioned, the leading scorer now into the game. And Humber, though, doing a good job with creating a bit more separation.
For your Humber Hawks.
You were saying they're doing a good job creating more scoring opportunities and playing strong defense. As we'll take a little look right there at the Humber Hawks bench as players get all refueled up. Now, we were having the discussion pregame. Can you name some famous athletes with a food last name? Because, you know, we obviously have Moses Orange here. First one that comes to mind for me is Eli Apple.
Well, of course, Darryl Strawberry.
Darryl Strawberry.
I'm getting a notice, Zach, that there's a replay coming up, saving us from the fruit last name. Let's take another look here at a replay on the Hawks Sports Network. Let's scrap that. And we have our first quarter statistic. Let's move on to that, shall we? So leading the way for Humber, Zach, 4 points for Raheem Dennis, and right behind him with 3 is J.R. Harewood. Now, a couple of guys on Canadore have 2 points. Orange, we just saw check in and get that bucket. Elijah Suffel, Ty Huxtable, Tevin McCallum, and also with points for the Panthers, Becci.
The start of that quarter, you know, it looked like Humber was running away with it, but Canadore really kind of just evened up. Looking at the stats, the rebounds, 14 to 11 for Humber, tied 2-2 for assists, steals 4-2 for Humber, and even the turnovers. You know, Canadore has 5, Humber has 4. So really, the back half of that quarter looked a lot better than the opening half for the Panthers.
So are there any other notable athletes with a fruit last name?
I don't know about fruit last name. I know there's one with a fish. There's 2.
Giving up on fruit so soon. I feel like we could maybe dig in.
Is there a guy named Marcus Pineapple somewhere?
I was thinking Peach, but no,
Peach.
I don't think. Princess Peach.
Princess Peach is a good one. I mean, she's an athlete. If you've ever played Mario Super Sluggers, you know she's an athlete.
Second quarter underway. 7-point lead for the Humber Hawks. And keep an eye on Moses Orange. He didn't play much of that first quarter. And there's a ball from downtown and a good start to the second quarter. 3-ball courtesy of Corey Bashoon.
That's big. Canadore behind now only by 4.
Humber on offense. Motiki Stevens makes his way inside, and that was just beautiful looking footwork and making it look easy.
What a move to get on the inside.
So haven't seen a ton of Taj Motiki Stevens this season for Humber, but that certainly a good looking effort. As Taj has started in 5 games for Humber. So Waith is charged with the foul. No shots coming up, but it'll be Canadore ball. And Ogene Becci will be inbounding. And he finds Orange. Pull up, shot inside, that too won't fall. Rebounded by Dennis. Humber now, 6-point lead. Pierce with it in the corner. Back to Dennis. We mentioned the leading scorer for Humber in that first quarter, and the dunk from Taj Motiki Stevens, powerful.
It must be that number 20 jersey, because we saw that last year's player going up a lot with that number, but Motiki Stevens showing that he's got the hops.
And maybe another dunk incoming here over to DLC for the layup. I like that point. Maybe he wanted number 20, Taj Motiki Stevens, and I said, all right, young fella, how good can you dunk? And then he must have showed them that, and they said, okay, you can wear the...
Head coach Omar Miles said this jersey was worn by one of the strongest dunkers we've seen. Now it's your turn, son, and he handed him the jersey.
So another foul there. Humber up by 10 points, reestablishing that familiar 10-point cushion they've enjoyed here this afternoon. Backing him in is Raheem Dennis, and that was kind of an off-kilter shot, rebounded by Motiki Stevens, who looks like he's ready to have himself an afternoon.
That's just superb play down low by number 20. It's the interior pressure. That was the big thing for the Hawks last year, and it's looking like it's going to be something big for them this year. Motiki Stevens is really stepping up.
He's a first-year player for Humber, and perhaps a sign of good things to come. The young fella having a good afternoon. Another foul charged against Canadore. And that was on Ty Huxtable. And talking with his coach there on the top of your screen. That was actually charged to Owen Walker. My apologies. Humber's on O. Dennis hands it off to DLC. 7 seconds on the shot clock right now. Taj Motiki Stevens kicks it out to DLC, and the 3-ball is good, and that that will warrant a timeout from the visiting team.
Once again, it's just the play of the ball movement that the Hawks have right now on offense that is just leading to these amazing scoring opportunities. You look at it right there again between Motiki Stevens and DLC. They just did a fantastic job on that baseline, working the ball around. The defender loses track of DLC, and he says, "Thank you very much. It's an easy 3."
And there's head coach Stephen Hong talking to the Panthers. And let's run back this last play. Now, we've seen Taj Motiki Stevens, number 20 for Humber, do lots of great work inside. This time he kicks it out, and the veteran, fifth-year player, Dwayne Lambert-Cador, a good-looking ball from downtown. Zach, how's your three-point shooting?
Score about 1 in 75.
1 in 75.
1 in 75. That's better than 0. So 1 better than 0. That's how we look at it. Now, if you ask me to do a half-court shot, somehow I'm better at shooting those.
I have a friend named Ben Anderson who can do the behind-the-back.
Well, that's just impressive.
Half-court shot, almost like 10 out of 10, but couldn't make a free throw. So certain skills people practice.
Sometimes the farther you are, it's better. Some people can't make a layup, but they can do a full-court shot, It's like Steph Curry. I mean, he can shoot whatever, anywhere, but from beyond the arc and further.
He can't make a layup, yeah.
He can't make a layup.
I don't know if that's true. Now we're out of the timeout. Humber up by a comfortable 15, but not any longer. Make that 12 is a 3-ball from number 3, Kevin McCallum, cutting into the lead. Pierce to Harewood. Now it's Dennis. Looks like he's intent on making his way to the hoop, and a couple of spin moves, some nice footwork, and a bucket off the glass. Puts Humber at the 30-point mark now. Moses Orange streaking inside and pulls up for another bucket.
Shows why he's the leading scorer on his team. He's the only player that's actually eclipsed the 200-point mark for the side of the Panthers.
So another foul picked up by Owen Walker, it looks like. And Walker will have to check out. And alongside of him, Betchy will also be heading out into the game. Skaman and Elijah Supple, who we mentioned with the very standing out blue kicks there. Bright blue shoes. Another foul as Humber's about to shoot 2 free throws here, Zach.
That was a great play right there by Brett Pierce. He showed that he didn't really have space to work, but he did a good job at drawing that foul. Right there again on that replay, you saw the 3-pointer by the side of Canadore. But again, Brett Pierce, the second-year player, he got to watch some of those veteran guys that really paved the way last year for that national championship, and he learned from them, and it's really just shown in his game.
Orange with the rock for the Panthers. And looking for a way inside, but it's just good defense from Humber and Dwayne Lambert-Cador in particular. But the quick 3-ball from Huxtable, nothing but net. And that'll cut the lead back down to 10. Harewood hands it off to Brett Pierce. Brett Pierce, the Sault Ste. Marie native, dishes it off to his teammate, and 2 shots now coming up.
You heard the crowd right there. DLC just kind of threw it up, hoping and wishing on a prayer, and it rolled around that rim, I believe, twice. Almost had the and one, but he'll settle for the 2 shots at the free throw line.
Crowd wanted the and one, but did not get that play. DLC just 8 points so far, not a bad outing, leading the Hawks. Make that 9. And if DLC can make this free throw, that would put Humber up by 12. And he does just that.
Puts it up by 12 and also hits the double-digit mark.
So the Panthers looking to get something going. They'll retain possession here as that ball is off the foot of Kyle Brown-Fazekas. Orange inbounding the ball for the Panthers, who finds a wide open teammate, and two of the easiest points Tevin McCallum might get all night. Just a bit of a lost assignment on defense for Humber that time.
And the timeout quickly called right there by Omar Miles. Probably just wanted to kind of go over what just happened and clean up on defense. You know, the Hawks, they came out of the gate looking really, really strong on defense, and then it seems like they just quieted off as the games progressed. So maybe head coach Omar Miles just trying to get that fire back inside of his squad to bring them back to life on the defensive side of the court.
Let's take one more look at that bucket, and a couple of players in the area for Humber and a couple guys throwing their hands up, but not the kind of defensive effort Humber's head coach Omar Miles was hoping to see. And you know, Zach, you've already established for Humber a 10-point lead, and maybe coming into the game today with an expectation of winning, playing the winless Canadore Panthers, but you want to come in and have a good, strong effort, especially with some of the big games coming up into the season here, the last the home stretch, as it were, for the month of February. But so far, it's been a bit up and down for Humber. Started strong, but we've kind of sensed them waning a little bit at times.
And this is one of those, as little as it looks on the schedule, this is a really important game in the sense of starting to build the right habits to end off the season. Like you said, there's the two big games that they have against St. Clair and against Sheridan, and you just kind of need to build off of a game like this where you look sound and steady on defense and offense to play well in those future games and know how to play.
And we know there's been some kind of heartbreaking losses on home court for Humber, but the final game of the season against the Sheridan Bruins, Humber really going to want to win that one for the home fans, as a nice three-ball from Raheem Dennis. Good job from the Hawks out of the timeout. But you know, Zach, that rivalry game, it's February 16th. That is a big deal to the basketball community at Humber. And you certainly want to see the Hawks in full stride, not just for that big rivalry game, for the big bright lights, but also heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, really, if Humber comes into that final game of the season playing strong, they're going to be riding a high wave heading into that OCAA playoffs. And you know, they want to defend that gold medal they won last year.
And that pass was way off the mark. And Raheem Dennis is kind of smiling like, hey, DLC, I was right here, man. You threw it into row 2.
Sometimes, you know, there's a fan in the stand that just wants to take home a souvenir, and that's okay.
Yeah, you know, DLC's a man of the people, as Raheem Dennis leading the charge now and switches hands, and a nice looking bucket cutting into the paint. And here comes Canadore. About 4 minutes left here in the first half. Hawks have held on to a comfortable lead just about the whole way through. But Canadore has had their moments. As Orange is open, he's calling for the ball, and three-pointer from Elijah Suffel, and that'll give Suffel 5 points on the day.
Something I've noticed is that Canadore does a really good job just trying to set up that three-point shot, and it seems like they're a team that they heavily rely on that outside shot.
Well, when you look at their stats on the season, Canadore is right up there in the top 5 or 6 teams in terms of three-pointers attempted and three-pointers made per game. They're actually 5th in the OCAA for three-pointers made per game. So certainly a big part of their offensive strategy is those balls from beyond the arc. And Moses pulls up top right by the free throw line and looking good. And you kind of get the sense of why Moses Orange is the leading scorer for these Panthers. He's a pretty skilled looking scorer. Really makes it look easy out there.
And just kind of needs to see Humber just come to life a little bit more. Nice bucket right there by Raheem Dennis on the baseline. But that early start, that's kind of the reason why Humber has this early lead. They've just been trading baskets back and forth here with Canadore for about the last 3-4 minutes. So Humber just kind of maybe just needs to step up a little bit
Now another chance for Raheem Dennis. That three ball was in and out. That was robbery. Steal from Dwayne Lambert-Cador and thrown way too high for Rashawn Chambers. Hawks have looked a little sloppy Joe at times here.
The fanboy me wanted to see Rashawn Chambers grab that and just alley-oop it into the net. But obviously the pass a little bit too hard.
Oh yeah, it makes you wonder if that's what Kyle Brown-Fazekas was going for, but that pass just a bit off the mark. Wide open three, nobody really in the vicinity of Ethan Skaman. And another timeout called by what I'm going to assume is a unhappy coach Omar Miles.
Again, it's just something we're not used to seeing out of the Hawks. Yes, they have the big lead, but this last quarter, they're missing assignments. Players aren't picking up their defensive assignments, and it doesn't look like the Hawks were accustomed to seeing. You saw the basket right there by Raheem Dennis on the baseline, but once again, like Canadore, they've had a lot of opportunities to shoot from beyond the arc, and they're not missing those opportunities right now.
By the way, Raheem Dennis, we just saw in that replay, he's got 15 points here in the first half, so a good start for number 6 for Humber. And there's Coach Stephen Hong talking to his guys. And Humber breaking the huddle. So about 2 minutes and 9 seconds left here in half number 1. And coming up next for the Humber Hawks, they will be in action. They get 6 days off, Zach. Next Friday, they're on the road at the Lambton Lions. And then the day after, so back-to-back games on Saturday, playing against the St. Clair Saints in Windsor. And then finishing off at home, February 16th, 2 days after Valentine's Day, against the Sheridan Brooms. And there'll be no love lost in that rivalry matchup.
Hearts will be broken by the time that game is done.
Dennis has got all those points for Humber, hands it off to Kyle Brown-Fazekas. And Moses Orange, a behind-the-back dribble, and he is fouled by Kyle. So into the game will be Romeo Osas Joshua. And he will have the assignment of guarding. Oh, check that. Looks like he's going to be guarding Chase Stinkowie. Cameron David playing defense for Humber. Let's see if the Panthers try to line up one of their signature three-pointers. Yes, they do. Moses Orange unable to convert. Hawks with the rebound. Romeo over to Cameron David. Let's see if Dennis is maybe hungry for some more points. He's had a pretty good stat line here tonight. Harewood hits the three.
J.R. Harewood wide open. He's not missing that one.
So only 2 buckets for Harewood tonight. They've both been from downtown. He's got 6 points on the day. And under a minute left here in the first half. Stripped away. Good hands by Cameron David. Going to see Harewood fouled hard. Moses Orange charged with the foul. Looks like Harewood is okay. So an aggressive play and 2 shots coming up for J.R. Harewood.
Obviously, you know, player safety #1 here in the OCAA. So good to see Harewood going up to take his shots. And the Redemption gets the first one to drop.
Safety first, then teamwork. That's what they say, right, partner?
Exactly. Death, taxes, and safety first.
16-point lead for the Hawks. Open look and an easy bucket for Elijah Suffel, the Sault Ste. Marie native. So Suffel has great shoes for the Panthers. For the Hawks, Brett Pierce has great shoes. They're both from Sault Ste. Marie. There's
something in Sault Ste. Marie. There might be a hidden shoe store that we don't know about.
Maybe that's it. Raheem Dennis, outside ball, not much left on the shot clock. And Humber getting the rebound. And that pass from Cameron David was heading right for the popcorn area. That could have been bad. That thing had some pepper on it. And we're still fishing that ball out of the corridor here. There it is.
My heart skipped before my eyes. There's a little kid over there that almost got his head taken off by a basketball. Good thing he's okay. I believe it just grazed the top of the hat, but nonetheless, get right back to the action.
And a late three from the Panthers. 2 seconds left here. The Hawks going to be able to put up a shot. Romeo puts it up and able to get it off in time. And we have a bit of confusion right now, as some conversations.
Your score at the end of the first half is 48-37.
Not sure exactly what the fuss is about. Zach will maybe try to get some closure. No, 2 shots coming up for Romeo Osas Joshua.
I think he might have thought 2 shots, but the refs, I think, are just saying, nope, end of the quarter, so nothing will come from it. So we'll just head to the locker rooms, and that'll do it for the first half.
Okay, we'll be right back on the Hawks Sports Network for the conclusion of this OCAA West matchup. Humber leading 48-37 in the break. We'll see you in about 14 minutes and 55 seconds.
Okay, so for those super guys who have 2 attempts at a layup, 2 attempts at a free throw, 2 attempts at a three-pointer, and 1 attempt at a half-court shot for $1,000. The layup must start outside of the three-point arc. Whenever you're ready. Layup's good. Free throw is good. Got 1 more shot at the three-pointer. Oh, get in there. Just about when you won't be going home empty-handed, you'll be going home with a 2, courtesy of the OCAA. back, everybody. Here are your first half leaders. First, the floor, the Canadore Panthers, both with 7 points. Number 0, Honey Mitchie, and number 3, Tevin McCallum. And for your Humber Hawks with 9 points, number 23, Dwayne Canadore. And with 15 points, number 6, Raheem Dennis.
Okay, we're back, folks. It's second half action, the OCAA men's basketball here at the Humber College North Campus Gym. Opening up the third quarter with a missed three-pointer from J.R. Harewood. And Dwayne Lambert-Cador trying to follow it up with 3-ball. No good, but cleaning things up inside is Raheem Dennis. Zach Benoit is my broadcast partner, and Raheem Dennis has been having a good afternoon so far.
Good to say the least. I mean, sitting at 17 points now. Had 15 coming into the quarter. He's just doing a great job all around for his squad. Sometimes you can't shoot the outside shot. You got to rely on getting down low and getting dirty. And just getting the 2 points.
And if at first you don't succeed with the three-pointer, try again and then maybe go for something
exactly. And then switch it up.
That's what we saw there to open up the quarter for Humber. And opening up the quarter for Canadore as the Panthers get a 3-ball courtesy of Ongene Becci. DLC leading it in now. Harewood had a couple of 3-pointers for the Hawks in the first half. Rashawn Chambers. Pardon me, that was Jamani Barrett. Unsuccessful inside.
Checking in for the first time since the first quarter.
And a nice effort by Dennis, who's trying to get it done all by himself on that drive. Just off the mark. Some great scoring from Raheem Dennis. And now he's playing some good defense, really interfering with Huxtable's attempt to move the ball inside. And turned over. Good effort there to keep it alive by Chase Dinkowie and rewarded with a 3-ball.
That was a big play right there for the Panthers as they're slowly dwindling this lead down. I believe only trailed by 7 now. And it's really just thanks to that 3-ball. That's just kind of been their go-to today.
Humber is in a tie for 4th place. Niagara and Humber are both at 8-6 on the season. Canadore 0-14. So Humber coming off a loss to Niagara. would like to get back in the win category here today. Goes without saying. Free throw from Jamani Barrett is good. The 6'8" power forward, Jamani Barrett, with his second free throw coming up. Barrett on the season for Humber has only played in 6 games, 7 including today. He's averaging just shy of 11 points per game. So he's come in the new year and made an impact for Humber. The Hawks retain possession off that missed free throw. DLC lobs it up. In transition now are the Panthers. There's Huxtable being guarded by Kyle Brown-Fazikis. And good defense by Kyle, but he's gonna allow the Panthers to retain possession here. Another three-pointer is good, and that is from Ogene Becci. Becci now with 13 points here today.
I think the scariest part about that second quarter was the Canadore were shooting 83% from beyond the arc. They only missed 1 shot. And coming into this quarter here, I'm not sure if they've missed one yet. They've looked on fire from beyond the arc.
And a big block. We've seen a couple big, speaking of three-pointers, seen a few of those from J.R. Harewood. And he now turns it up in the defensive end. It'll be Panthers ball with 18 seconds on the shot clock. Active hands from DLC. And number 3 being guarded by number 3. That's Kyle Brown-Fazikis on Tevin McCallum. And another 3 is launched by Becci. That one off the mark. So finally a missed three-pointer from the Panthers. Down by 5. Humber in the lead, looking to grow that lead on offense right now. Kyle Brown-Fazikis trying to feed it in tight. Lots of defenders around Barrett. And that ball will be awarded to the Panthers.
The biggest stat that's really kind of sticking out to me from the first half is the fact that Humber has 9 steals as a team, and that's led to 10 turnovers for Canadore. And Humber, the points off the turnovers, nearly doubling the amount that Canadore has scored. So that's kind of really why there's such a difference right now in points and why this game isn't even closer than it already is.
And on the outside, the defense, you really feel like the intensity from Humber has been ratcheted up here. His Huxtable's shot, no good. Almost 4 minutes into the second half. And Dennis has been the go-to guy for Humber and lays in another 2. Dennis is carrying a lot of the load here today, 16 points. And we're barely into the third quarter.
The soft touch finish at the net. Another great job by Raheem Dennis, and he's just looking poised. A man on a mission right now for the Hawks.
Yeah, third-year player for Humber. He's averaging about 9 points per game, way beyond that today. And a shot from well beyond the arc by Harewood is no good.
He's nearly doubled it today.
And Dennis, active hands on defense. It looked like it might have been a heads-up steal, but he is going to pick up the foul. That's Harewood's, pardon me, that's Dennis's first foul of the day. And here's a look at the work by the big man inside.
There's that soft touch at the end you saw there, just the delivering the ball up. It's almost like the soft hand of God.
Divine bucket from Dennis, and three-pointer off the mark, and it really seems like the Panthers are just loading up on those threes right now, Zach.
Live or die by the 3 ball, that's kind of where they're sitting.
And Dennis, who was charged with the foul on one end of the court, will now get to shoot 2 of his own.
Well, the foul is on number 12, Chase Stinkowie. Personal foul number 2, team foul number 2.
Chase Stinkowie, second-year player, is the one who is the guilty party with the foul. Dennis, first free throw off the mark. Dennis has 17 points tonight. Could make it 18 here. And put the Hawks back up by 8. And that does not happen. Kyle Brown-Fazikis, a little too strong going for that loose ball. Another foul.
He's in a little bit of disbelief. He can't believe he got the foul there. But nonetheless, they'll just continue to go.
And that's number 3's third foul of the day. So Kyle Brown-Fazekas heads to the bench, and Romeo Osas Joshua, the Shakespearean guard for the Humber Hawks, is on the court now.
I like that.
And a 3-ball. So true to form, another 3 from Canadore. And DLC directing traffic finds Barrett inside. Barrett back to DLC. Dwayne Lambert-Cadore's pass finds its way to Romeo. And Romeo's shot just off the mark. Still just that 7-point lead for Humber.
Kind of in a scoring drought right here.
3-point attempt by the Panthers. And after a red-hot start, that was a jump ball call. That will be awarded to the Panthers. So it was a hot start from 3-point land for the visiting team here today, but Canadore, as the quarter has gone on, slowing down a little bit, not quite converting the way they were.
Just kind of seems like right now when they get on offense, they're just taking any shot that they can from beyond the arc. They're not really setting up anything like they were doing in that second quarter. You know, they came out firing in the early stages here of the third, and then they just started firing. There was no strategic, it was just get the ball up in the air from beyond the arc and maybe it'll work.
That might be working in the Hawks' favor because the Panthers have been giving the Hawks a little bit of indigestion here in this game. And you'd think this would be one that you could count on the Hawks to pull out the victory today, but it's been fairly close. Just a 7-point difference right now. But the Hawks, like we mentioned, perhaps benefiting from a Canadore offense that's been jacking up almost nothing but threes, but has not been converting. And that's helped maintain that Humber lead, 53-46. As Coach Miles is addressing the team in the timeout here. So we mentioned the OCAA Championships hosted by the St. Clair Saints down in Windsor, southwestern Ontario. That starts March 3rd, goes into the 5th, and then the CCAAs, the National Basketball Tournament, will be held in Southern Alberta at the Southern Alberta Institute of Technology. I believe that's in Calgary, Zach.
Yeah, they were here last year for the CCAA tournament. They had a good team, and they get the honors of hosting it this year, so good on them. I believe they were called the St. Trojans.
Yeah, the Saints team from Calgary, so they'll be hosting the CCAA National Championships in the 16th of March to the 19th. And Humber would like to, of course, repeat as national champions as we get a nice finger roll by Dwayne Lambert-Cadore. Hawks up by 9. Moses Orange with the ball. And a strong move to the net, but is denied as that ball just kind of hangs up on the rim.
A lot of athleticism out there by number 23 in black. You know, he's doing a good job getting to the net. It's just some of the finishes, they just aren't there, and he's just not catching the lucky breaks when it comes to getting close to the rim.
And Dennis, no surprises. Another bucket for Humber on the offensive end. Hawks on defense now. And a 3-ball is good from Becci, so let's see if that can maybe reestablish the 3-point accuracy for the visiting team.
And Becci, I believe that's his 3rd or 4th of this quarter alone, just from beyond the arc, and he's kind of feeling hot from behind that line.
Yeah, Becci's got 16 points so far.
Hawks ball, 8.7 on the shot clock.
Becci is 3rd in scoring. He averages about 13.5 points per game for this Canadore team.
Already past that mark, sitting at 16 in this game.
And Dwayne Lambert-Cadore's shot. A good fight for the rebound. Give credit to Taj Motiki-Stevens. Tips that out to Harewood. Back in the hands of Dennis now. And a foul call. Dennis is on the ground, but the call going the way of Canadore. And checking into the game will be Owen Walker for Canadore. And there's another look. It's sailing through the air. It's
almost majestic-like.
It was quite majestic. A little slow-mo action there on the HSN replay.
That was a nice little shot there by DLC.
Got quite the Canadore cheering section here. We got about 8 guys, all in Canadore red hoodies, all with a bag of popcorn supplied on the house here at the Humber College North Campus Gym. And we'll get back to the crowd commentary in a moment, but another 3-ball from this Canadore team, making this a 5-point game.
Tiki Stevens can't get that one to fall.
And a scramble for it, but Raheem Dennis is absolutely mobbed inside. Dennis had just about every Panther on the court on his back, it seemed like.
We'll take another look at that majestic 3. He just kind of fell back as he was shooting. The fadeaway was there. And you talked about the fans in the stands. You can kind of see them at the bottom half of your screen right there, all lined up in red. I believe those sweaters were handed out from the team to them, and I'm trying to read what it says. I think it says "Get your claws out."
Get your claws out.
I could be wrong though. It would make sense because they are the Panthers.
I like it. Get your claws out. Which could also double as a Humber Hawks logo. Well, that'd be talents, right?
Get your talents.
Get your talents. Do the chickens have large talents? Throwback to Napoleon Dynamite. 2 shots coming up. It's going to be Raheem Dennis off to the athletic table. So he hit the hardwood with some force and will be checked out by the trainers. So it's Nathan Waith shooting 2. Here's his second shot. Brampton native hits number 2. That Hawk lead up to 7 now. Get your talons out. This is a ball game. Orange passes it over to Becci. So that outside play for Canadore continues. But it looks like Orange can make his way inside, and from the top of the key, a good-looking bucket. And our red sweatered cheering section for Canadore getting into it here. Canadore wanted an over and back, but they don't get it. Waith with the 3-ball. Rebounded nicely by Motiki Stevens. Loose ball turned over to the Panthers. 2 minutes left here in the quarter. 3-pointer, a bit short. And Waith trying to get control of that ball. It was just sent way too far. Zach, we've seen a few of those stretch passes. Some of those more grandiose pass attempts have really not gone the Hawks' way today. One of them almost took out a young man by the popcorn stand.
It just seems like it's just something in the Hawks game right now isn't clicking, and it's just something we're not used to seeing it here in the Hawks Nest especially. This team is usually so strong when it comes to defense in the transition game.
And an off-balance shot is rebounded by Humber. Dwayne Lambert-Cador passes it down low. Romeo streaking on the baseline. Taj Motiki Stevens. And almost stolen away that ball into the crowd. But it will be Humber ball. Zach, there's about 8.9 seconds on the shot clock. Not a ton of time to work with.
You kind of feel so far in the gym, the momentum scales right now are just really in the side of Canadore. You know, the red sweater squad has gotten a lot noisier. The bench is getting noisier, and Canadore on defense, they're playing a lot stronger.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it really feels like Humber at times has really grown that lead, but Canadore is hanging around, and the flame is burning pretty strong right now. To your point, the momentum game certainly alive and well for the Panthers as we head into approaching the final minute of the 3rd quarter. Just a 5-point lead for the Hawks. And an air ball will hand the ball over to Humber. So Dwayne Lambert-Cador quarterbacking the play. Pick set by Chambers. And Romeo inside, and a nice low effort shot there. That thing just had enough to get in the hoop.
Went around and around and around, but finally went down. So Humber just trying to extend that lead again, out to trying to get it to double digits.
And Romeo making it look easy there. Hawks on defense now, stolen away by DLC. And there is a whistle that's going to go in favor of Canadore. Coming in too strong that time, though, the Hawks offensively. And we've got about 33 seconds left.
One more look at it, just charging in. It was Romeo. A Shakespearean man himself getting it to fall.
What's your favorite Shakespeare play?
Probably Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet. I like Hamlet because my
Hamlet,
last name
not
is
bad.
Hamill, and
Yeah,
there's
not
sort of
bad, not
a
bad.
phonetically kind of similar. On offense now are the Panthers. 10 seconds on the shot clock, 20 seconds on the game clock. Big block by Chambers. Romeo now looking for a man, and he's fouled. And Panthers are incensed. They don't like the call. We're not quite in bonus territory yet. So a 7-point lead for Humber. It'll be Hawks ball on the sideline. And Zach, we've got about 11 seconds to work with here.
See, my expertise in basketball, which is not big by any means, but my best guess would be, now that Dennis is checking into the onto the court, set up a play, get Dennis the ball down low. That would be my best guess of what's going to happen.
He's got the ball now, and he's been the guy so far today. And he's just making everything look easy, and he does once again. I'm working with Tony Romo over here. Zach, you're calling the play before it happens. Big heave to end the third quarter, won't fall, and we'll head into the intermission here. A 9-point lead for Humber. Folks, the good crew at HSN has been putting together a package of highlights for you. We'll step aside and let you take a look back at some of those highlights from the third quarter.
We'd like to take this time to send a huge shout out to Grassroots Elite Canada Basketball Club. Thank you very much for coming, and we hope you're enjoying today's activity.
And we're back, and it's time for the fourth quarter, the last quarter of regulation. Our score here is 63-54. Zach Benoit is my broadcast partner. He's holding the stats right now. What's jumping out to you right now after 3 quarters of play, Zach?
It's that 3-point shooting coming out of the side of Canadore. Betchy, number 0 sitting at 10 attempts, 4 made, sitting at 16 points. But on the night total, Canadore right now, I believe they're 10-4, if I'm doing my quick math here, 26. And I mean, shooting a lot from beyond the arc. Obviously, nothing was falling there in that third quarter. Romeo himself, Joshua, answering quickly here with a 3 of his own.
Yeah, both teams have been really leaning on the 3 balls at times here tonight. Hawks open up the quarter with the ball from downtown as Moses Orange charging inside. And that will draw the foul. But yeah, Raheem Dennis for Humber, 23 points. Let's take a second look at that 3 ball from Romeo. Bang!
From North Bay.
So no good on the first free throw from Moses Orange. Hawks up by 12 here. Chance to cut into that lead. And will do it there. So inbounding the ball is Raheem Dennis. Hawks had that big 3-pointer from Romeo last time up the court. He's got the ball right now. And David passes it back to Romeo. Off the glass and in. Good look from number 4.
the start of this quarter, putting the team on his back, trying to get them rolling right now, is Osas Joshua.
And that was a good-looking three, one of many we've seen from Becci here tonight. This afternoon, I should say. Whistle blown here. And we'll have a little deliberation here. Kind of figuring it out. So Becci picks up the personal foul. That's his second of the night. Hawks with the ball on the baseline. Cameron David guarded by a couple Panthers. Swinging the ball around. Waite with the three ball. So the Hawks are saying, hey, we can shoot from downtown too.
Coming out strong right here in the fourth quarter from beyond the arc are the Humber Hawks. And that's what you want to see. Is you want to see your team just pick up a little bit of fire in the ending stages of this game.
And Hawks call a timeout. They're up by 11. And off the bucket from the Panthers. We'll head into a quick little break. Now, we talked about really, as far as the three-point game, that's something that Canadore really attempt a lot of per game. They're right up there in the top 5 with three-pointers stats. The Hawks are more in the middle of the pack. There's a three ball from Waite, got the ball from Romeo. So Hawks don't typically lean on the three-pointers, but that's kind of been a big part of the game plan tonight.
Yeah, and I guess it's just kind of to counteract Canadore in the sense of whenever they go on those runs of just sinking three after three after three, Humber comes with an answer back of their own, and they're able to maintain that lead. I think Canadore in the third quarter got as close as 4, and then Humber went on the stretch of just getting the points back. And again, something similar here. Canadore comes out firing in the fourth. Humber answers right back, I believe, with 3 of their own. So it's just really, really good to see that Humber is just playing strong. And you're pointing out a big one to me right here, partner. The points in the paint. Oh my, Humber 22-2.
Yeah, after 3 quarters of play, the stat of points in the paint, and you said it, 22 points in the paint for Humber, just 2 for Canadore, really highlighting how much the Panthers have been leaning on the threes, and it's been keeping them in the game. They're down by 11 now. Hawks have kind of reestablished that comfortable lead, but with those threes going in, this thing could change the drop of a hat. Don't touch that dial, folks. We've got a basketball game. Cameron David is fouled. Looks like Huxtable is the guilty party.
The foul is number 15, personal foul number 2, team foul number 2.
Final quarter of regulation. Hawks ball on the baseline. Romeo will be inbounding it. Gets it in to Dennis, who has 21 points. He's a game-high 21. And David is wide open. Heads-up play by Nathan Waite, finding Cameron David. But we talked about Raheem Dennis with 21. That's game-high. Not far behind him is Panthers' Ogene Becci. He has 19. Big block there in the defensive end.
Now Humber will just kind of slow it on down. Time is in their favor. Cameron Davis trying to go for a quick one, not going to go.
And the ball is loose. Moses Orange lost it. Now it's just an all-out scramble. And travel call will give the ball to Humber. So here we go. It'll be inbounded by Waite. That lead for the Hawks, 13. There's Chambers on the bench for Humber. David with a little forearm shiver. Love to see that. Brings me back to my football days. Super Bowl next Sunday, Zach. I'm not sure what's going on this Sunday. I think you got some kind of Pro Bowl. As beautiful Pro Bowl-esque effort from Jamani Barrett. And there is the foul to Barrett. So a good move on one end. Charged with the foul on the other end. Zach, you gotta pick. You got the Kansas City Chiefs against the Philadelphia Eagles for the Super Bowl.
I think I'm going the Chiefs. I don't think you can count out Patrick Mahomes.
I want Philadelphia to win. Do I think they are going to win? Negative. I think it'll be a Chiefs victory. I'm saying Chris Jones, defensive end, will be the Super Bowl MVP. Ooh. Going out on a limb. Not very often those defensive players get the MVP as Moses Orange misses his free throw. I think that's going to encourage this home court crowd. They're making lots of noise here. Must be something in that popcorn today. The fans are really getting into it.
It's the extra butter. You can hear it in the Hawks Nest.
And 1 for 2 on the line for Moses Orange. He's got 12 points today.
So there was enough butter in the popcorn to make him miss 1, but not 2.
Dennis over to Romeo and finds Waite back in the corner. This time elects not to shoot the 3 ball. We saw Waite make a nice ball from downtown in that position moments ago. Dennis charging in to Barrett, who's denied by the rim. Thought Jamani Barrett was looking to bring the house down with a dunk there. Not quite. Betchie's 3 ball. Airs it. Good noise in the gym right now. And that pass by David is just out of reach. And Barrett with some good defense, some real good defensive effort from Humber right now.
It just seems, you know, they're playing with that speed that they had to start off the game. It disappeared for about 2.5 quarters, but it's come back to life here. And this is the Humber Hawks we're used to seeing, playing that, you know, that heart and soul kind of game where they're leaving it all on the court. We know they have it in them. It's just more or less, can they perform?
Romeo Osas Joshua hits it, and we look like we have an injured Canadore Panther who might have gotten hit, and we'll call it a sensitive area, Zach.
It was either, I'm not sure if it was a hit or just he turned too quickly. But he'll be subbed off. Hopefully he'll be all right.
And there he is taking a seat. So play on. Humber up by 16 points here. Just over 6 minutes left to go. And Moses Orange comes crashing in, and he's charged with the offensive foul. So that'll be the 3rd foul of the afternoon for Moses. Humber ball. Zach, Humber's got to feel pretty comfortable right now. This lead has just continued to grow. I think they've done a good job of establishing enough distance, but of course, with the 3-point shooting we've seen at times from the Panthers, this thing could turn on a dime, but another foul to the Panthers will keep the ball in possession of the Hawks.
It just seems, you know, just the fouls right now for the side of Canadore is just really halting any momentum that they've gained. Humber are just going to keep taking these easy chances to get points. And already, you know, still 6 minutes, but they're already in the bonus.
Barrett's first free throw is good. Jamani Barrett is tied as one of the tallest players on the Humber Hawks roster, standing 6'8", and who says the big fellas can't make their free throws? 2 for 2 on that trip to the line.
No Shaq in the Fool today.
I believe it's Shackton.
Shackton?
Shackton a fool. Great segment.
Great segment.
Almost as good as in the NFL Monday Night Football. They have, come on, man. You know, have you ever seen that one on Monday Night Football?
I don't think I have.
Kind of a similar premise. I think you could get the gist of it. Misplays and bloopers of the week.
That's pretty fun, yeah. Well, that's pretty good.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. I know on Monday Night Football they usually do the Manning cast.
There's that, the alternate broadcast. Betchy, he's been shooting lights out today. That one had a good line, but too strong. Hawks lead by 16 right now. Dennis has just been scoring at will for the Hawks. That continues, and that will draw a timeout from the Panthers. Dennis got 23 now.
up to a 20-point game. I mean, it's just been impressive in the fourth quarter from the Hawks. And Raheem Dennis, the soft touch again. My good man, go up and getting those baskets like it's nothing. He's doing such a phenomenal job down low, breaking through the defense of the Panthers. And we still have 5 minutes to go.
And that's why they call him Raheem the Dream Dennis.
Oh,
you like the song that just came on?
The champ is here.
See, we're sitting very close to the speakers today. A bit of an alternate audio situation. Oh, I see John Cena. That's what we're going with here. Okay, I recognize this song. But we got an alternate audio system set up here today, so we are very close to the speaker. We hope you enjoy the music at home. And if you're a John Cena fan, I'll just stop talking so we can drink in the song. Zach, do you still watch the wrestling? I was big into it when I was growing up. I've kind of fallen off.
From time to time I'll watch it, but you know, whenever John Cena's theme song comes on, you gotta sing it. From West Newbury, Massachusetts. I mean, come on. You gotta sing it when it comes on.
Real recognize real. Orange out of the timeout. The shot is no good, and Romeo with just a heroic effort there to snatch that rebound. In the sea of hands, the rebound falls to Romeo, and now it's Barrett down low. He's not gonna get the foul call. 20-point lead for Humber. That ball rolls on the ground. Cameron David with it for Humber. David back up top to Dennis, who does kind of a nifty pass inside. And the whistle will hand the ball back to Canadore. Fresh legs coming into the game. Adrian Aluyi in for Humber, and Jamani Barrett checks out. Aluyi, one of those first-year players for Humber. He's played in 4 games for the Hawks this season. Becci with a no-look pass. And the pull-up shot is good. And we've seen some good shooting, but Humber has really extended that lead where you think they're safe at this point. They're up by 18.
They've done a good job to build the lead and continue to pile it on. Shot right there, obviously just missing. But this looks like the Humber Hawks team that came out on fire. It just took a little bit for them to get back to this, but as long as they play like this to end off the rest of the season, they should be looking in good shape.
Good looking play from Aluyi, who just checked in the game, and David with a nice layup off the glass.
Give me the coast to coast, Cameron David.
Cameron David with 4 points this afternoon. David now playing defense on Becci. Becci loses the handle. Dennis, great feed to Romeo, who finishes the play. That was fabulous work. Teammates connecting for a good-looking basket.
Clean and precise passing right there from number 6. Have yourself a game, Raheem Dennis.
Yeah, add an assist to the stat line for Dennis. A couple of those tonight, and many points, 23. A game-high 23 for Raheem Dennis. Neither feed inside. David's pass is picked off. Didn't quite have the same finesse as Dennis's pass inside, and a foul there charged to Aluyi. And the Panthers player slow to get to his feet, but it looks like Kevin McCallum is all good. The Edmonton product, averaging 8 points per game. McCallum has 11 here today. Here's his first free throw. That one hit just about every part of the rim, found its way into the net.
So right now, I'm just kind of live, checking in on the live stats. Raheem Dennis already recorded the double-double. I believe he sits now 4 assists and 5 steals. So Maybe a little bit of a triple-double watch. Maybe.
You'd have to let him know so he could just feed his teammates and get those assists built up. It looked like he might have had Louis on the inside there, but some good defense closing the passing lane by the Panthers.
Omar Miles must have heard me, so he decided to take off, Dennis. So we'll scrap the triple-double watch for now. That's okay, though. Hawks will still try to end off this game on a high note.
And ball from the outside. Good make from Devontae Campbell.
It's a great name. Shares the same name as a defensive lineman on the Green Bay Packers, Devontae Campbell.
And another effort there is not going to fall. So the scoring from the Panthers really dropping off here in the fourth quarter. Not the time you want to start to freeze up.
Humber has just turned the switch to a new level, and the Panthers just haven't been able to answer back with anything. Another good drive by Cameron David.
Yeah, Humber has scored 27 points in the fourth quarter compared to just 10 points for the Panthers. So the Hawks really pulling away in the final frame. Ball's turned over. Pierce finds DLC, who lays it in. Hawks looking to hit that century mark, 92-64. And out of nowhere, Zach, we're at a 28-point game.
And just phenomenal work right there. And just look at this three-pointer. No one in sight. Thank you very much. Catching nothing but net.
Campbell for the three.
I was expecting another WWE theme to get in the theme, but we got another good song going on.
Now, here's my theory. Let's go back to the Super Bowl talk. Next Sunday, big game in the NFL Championship. Rihanna doing the halftime show. Now, she has a new album dropping, but these artists always bring in a team of other artists to join them, right? What kind of star power do we think we're going to get with the Rihanna halftime show? I submit that Jay-Z might come on through.
See, I would love that. What I would also love is Eminem making an appearance on Back to Back just to sing the Monster.
We've had enough Eminem, I think. I think we, you know.
Is there ever really a time where you get enough Eminem?
I think so.
Come on. Come on.
I think so.
One thing I will say, though, about the song that's playing right now, have you ever watched the movie Austin Powers?
Austin Powers 3, of course.
Great scene when Dr. Evil and Mini-Me just start rapping this in the jail cell. Come on. Classic right there.
Love me some Mike Myers.
R.I.P. Vern Troyer.
And we got about 1:40 left here in this game. 3-ball. Rebounded by Pierce. He stepped out of bounds, so they'll give this ball right back to the Panthers. In play. Huxtable hands it off to Becci. Becci looking for some space. And a fake attempt by Huxtable, who steps inside. So good to see Huxtable. Okay, he had to check out of the game earlier with an apparent injury, but he's back.
Yeah, you're glad to see the player returning. Obviously, you never want to wish any ill will onto anybody. Safety first.
And Louis passes it over to Devontae Campbell, who's going to get a chance for some free throws here.
We're coming down in the final stages here, Mr. Matt Hamill, as Humber is leading it. Just over a minute remaining, and I mean, it's been an interesting game to say the least. Really, Humber in the first quarter came out strong. They were looking really well, and then kind of took their foot off the gas through quarters 2, 3. And it was kind of questionable. I know we put our headsets down and we're talking between the third and fourth quarter about what does Humber really need to do. And then the fourth quarter, they did exactly what they needed to do. They started playing better defense. They started playing better, getting better looks on shots. So it's just good to see that the Humber Hawks, they ironed out any of those issues.
Yeah, certainly you need to dial in, not just for the tough stretch of games coming up, but of course the conclusion of the regular season, leading to that OCAA championship in Windsor in early March. So now is the time. You know, you see those teams that start the year very hot and kind of cool off towards the end. We've seen that, speaking of the NFL, some teams that kind of have that storyline. But the best time to peak, you obviously want to play well enough in the season to be in a good position heading into the postseason. But you want to be peaking at the end of the year, playing your best basketball. And this game perhaps could be a step in that direction for the Humber Hawks, as Huxtable misses. And Huxtable, through all the noise, makes his free throw.
Yeah, you said it best. You know, you want to play. You always want to play with that winning attitude, in the sense of you want to play to your level. You never want to, you know, you want to play Humber Hawks basketball. Give it everything you got all the time. And it's a nice play down low right there by Abiod and David.
So David with the bucket. Hawks knocking on the door of 100. Not sure if they're going to get there unless they decide to put up a three, which is highly unlikely.
Yeah, with the shot clock done, I think this might as well just conceal it and seal it, as Hawks will take it by 30, 97-67, partner.
That's our final score. And for the Humber Hawks, a tough stretch of games coming up. They're in action next Friday at Lambton. The day after that at St. Clair, finishing the regular season right here at the Hawks Nest against the Sheridan Bruins. And that'll be one you want to circle on your calendar on the 16th of February. That should be must-see TV here on the Hawks Sports Network. Always great having you with us. For my broadcast partners, Zach Benoit, and myself, Matt Hamill. Hope you join us next time on the Hawks Sports Network.